On the 4th of January, in the year 2012, an unknown individual posted on the website 4chan a mysterious and rather peculiar image with a black background and inscribed upon it in white text, "Hello, we are searching for highly intelligent individuals, and to locate them, we have decided to administer a test." Within this image there exists a hidden message, and whoever discovers it will embark upon the initial path that guides them to us. We are enthusiastic about meeting the select few among you who will ultimately reach the conclusion. We wish you good fortune. Signed, Tara301. But the participants who joined this challenge had no idea, not one of them, that they were standing on the very threshold of one of the most bizarre and famous hunts in the entire history of the internet, spanning the globe. Before we begin, my dear viewer, I urge you to get ready and focus intently with me until the very end of this video, because we are about to step into a world filled with enigmas and profound mystery, and I will unveil exclusive details you'll be hearing for the first time regarding the Cicada 3301 puzzle. At first, many individuals considered the picture to be nothing more than a hoax from an ordinary user looking for entertainment, whereas others were convinced that behind this enigma lay a clandestine organization or intelligence agencies striving to attract exceptionally brilliant intellects, and that those who managed to successfully decipher their code would then be employed by them as cryptography specialists. But the question that presented itself to everyone's minds was, what is the true purpose of this enigma, and who could possibly be behind it, and what will ultimately happen when we finally reach the end? Beyond the answers, imagine seeing a challenge that read, "We're looking for highly intelligent people," on 4chan, one of the most famous social media platforms. Naturally, many couldn't resist their curiosity, wanting to prove their intellect. And that's why the competition began. The participants in this race tried to solve the image's puzzle in every possible way. They utilized Photoshop, manipulating the shadows and the colors, completely reversing the lighting, and changing every single minute detail. Yet they couldn't uncover anything at all. And in the end, one of the users decided to attempt a completely different trick. So he proceeded to open the image file using the Notepad text editor. And there he found random symbols and various codes, precisely what we typically find when opening any picture. However, in this particular image, a strange line was discovered at the very bottom of the page, which clearly read Tiberius Claudius Caesar. Next to this name, there was a series of seemingly random encrypted letters and numbers. As soon as the name Caesar appeared, serving as a crucial key to unlocking the puzzle, the contestants immediately deduced that the entire text had been encrypted using the famous historical Caesar cipher. And it turned out their suspicions were absolutely correct, as they proceeded to manipulate the alphabetical letters in order to finally solve the intricate puzzle, which then revealed a crucial link that ultimately led them to yet another image found on the internet. However, the subsequent surprise they encountered was truly quite shocking. It was a simple picture of a duck with the word "oops" clearly written right beside it. "You have fallen into the trap. It seems you are unable to guess how to find the hidden message." And when they repeated what they had done the previous time, opening the image using a text editing program, they found absolutely nothing new. They tried every single method they had used with the first image, but without any result whatsoever. As time progressed and they examined it with greater attention, the analysts ultimately discovered that the solution had been clearly visible to them from the very outset, for what was cleverly concealed within the English word guess inscribed upon the image itself served as an ingenious hint, precisely guiding them towards the utilization of a widely recognized software application specifically designed for embedding hidden information within digital pictures, known as outguess. Indeed, when users returned to the first image and used the outguess program with it, they discovered it still contained hidden data. From the image, users extracted a new link that led them to a page on the social media platform Reddit. Along with this link was a book cipher, a type of code that relies on using another specific book to decrypt its hidden messages. And when they opened the Reddit page itself, they discovered the very book they had been searching for to decipher their code. Then, by applying the book's cipher to the book itself, these brilliant minds managed to uncover a new code, and as soon as they cracked it, it revealed itself to be a phone number. When they made the call, a recorded voice message was there, waiting for them.
Very good. Excellent work. There are 3 prime numbers associated with the original image, and the number 3301 is one of them. Search for the other 2 numbers, then multiply all 3 numbers together, and after that, add .com to the result in order to reach the next step. Good luck. Goodbye.
And what's truly astonishing is that all these events actually occurred on the very first day. As the second day arrived, the news spread like wildfire across the internet. and many amateur investigators and cryptography experts gathered to decipher the enigma of Cicada 3301. Their primary challenge was to locate the two missing prime numbers within the image, exactly as the message had instructed. Users experimented with countless possibilities and intricate calculations, but they ultimately achieved nothing. Pause. Then, one of them finally discovered that the solution was actually hidden in the simplest of details. The two numbers, representing the image's length and width, were found within its dimensions. Then, by multiplying the length by the width and subsequently by the specific number 3301, the resulting figure was 845,145,127. Upon merely appending .com to this numerical sequence and utilizing it as a web address, a website was successfully located. The website had a background with a drawing of the famous cicada insect, and below it, a breathtaking countdown timer. When the timer reached 0, the page automatically opened, revealing a list of precise geographical coordinates for 14 locations distributed across 5 different countries around the world. And at this point, the focus shifted to the individuals who were residing in close proximity to these particular locations, as they were specifically requested to evacuate their homes and thoroughly search their immediate surroundings. And in every single one of those specific locations, there was a hidden cicada symbol, patiently waiting for someone to finally uncover it. The individuals who had always suspected that the cicada enigma was the elaborate work of a secret organization or some powerful intelligence agency now felt their long-held belief was more firmly established than at any point in the past. It's simply impossible for this whole situation to escalate from just a social media prank to such an extensive level of international planning. Upon the participants' arrival at those specific locations, they indeed found posters hanging, all bearing the distinctive cicada logo. And on each and every one of these posters, there was a QR code. When they scanned these codes with their phones, they quickly discovered that they led to entirely new links. The links led them to a photograph, and the photograph also contained a puzzle, and the puzzle then led them to a book, and the book ultimately brought them to a brand new website, just like the very first time. But this time, the entire situation took a truly decisive and quite unexpected turn. The website did not open its doors to everyone. Instead, it was exclusively reserved for a very select group of the first individuals who managed to arrive and successfully reach the final stage. As soon as the required number of participants was met, the site was completely shut down, and a direct message immediately appeared, stating, "We are looking for the best, not just followers." And so, the curtain was drawn on the public phase of the competition. As for those participants who successfully qualified for the final, confidential stage, they received a strict warning against divulging any information or cooperating with any outside entity, and that any individual who shared details of this particular phase would be instantly removed from the test. And, naturally, not everyone complied with this warning, or else we wouldn't possess all this information today. It became clear that only those who truly respected the conditions were the ones who reached the very end of the final stage. And after a full month with absolutely no news on the subject, this picture suddenly appeared on Reddit. "Hello, we've successfully reached the individuals we were searching for, and based on this, our month-long journey has now come to an end. We sincerely thank you for all your great efforts. However, if you were among those who couldn't manage to complete the test, or perhaps didn't receive an email from us, please don't be disheartened. In the future, there will be other opportunities. Thank you, everyone." Signature 3301. It's quite clear that Cicada has already found the individuals they were searching for, but what exactly happened to them afterwards? No one knows. And because the entire subject was abruptly closed without any clear explanation, many people began to believe that the entire affair was nothing more than a clever prank, but it escalated far beyond what was intended. The crucial question that's likely on your minds right now is, how could the participants truly know that these specific images were actually originating from Cicada, and not simply a deception from someone merely claiming to be Cicada? The individual or group responsible for this intricate game utilized a specific form of authentication known as PGP code. This unique code was consistently appended to every message or image they released, enabling users to verify with certainty that the content genuinely originated from Cicada and was not an attempt by another party to mislead them. For a full year after the puzzle's conclusion, no authentic message was ever released by Cicada. Everything that surfaced subsequently was merely attempts by individuals playing games or pranking others. Exactly 1 year and 1 single day after the mystery had finally come to an end, a brand new image appeared, simply saying hello once again. We are now commencing our search for highly intelligent individuals for the second time around. The very first clue is concealed within this image, and whoever manages to discover it will be set upon the path that leads directly to us. We are truly eager to meet the very few of you who will eventually make it to the very end of this journey. We wish you the best of luck. Signed, 3301. And this time, it comes equipped with Cicada's own matching authentication code. And so, the second round of the mysterious Cicada puzzle finally began. The second puzzle was not really all that different from the very first one we encountered. A mysterious image containing a hidden message eventually led them to a specific book, and once that book was finally decoded, the participants were able to reach a new audio recording. However, this time around, the code contained a link that led them to a page on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. The link led to an anonymous online account that had posted only a single image. However, that image contained an intricate, complex grid, densely packed with numbers, letters, and ancient runes, which would later be recognized as a vital component in solving the perplexing new mystery. And much like the very first time we saw this, the entire challenge shifted away from the virtual world and out onto the city streets. But on this particular occasion, the coordinates were spread out across 8 distinct locations spanning 4 different countries around the globe, which included Sydney in Australia, Miami in the United States, Paris in France, and finally, Warsaw in Poland. The field selection process concluded with the acceptance of a select group of the top candidates, and the site was then closed to the rest of the participants. But unlike the first puzzle, this time the competition did not end with a message from Cicada thanking the participants and announcing its conclusion. Instead, Cicada suddenly disappeared as if it had never existed, without any explanation. In early 2014, the third round began. Once again, a brand new image has surfaced on the Reddit platform, and it contains a mysterious hidden message. This cryptic message eventually led us to a specific book, and that book in turn guided us directly to a link just exactly like all the previous times we have done this. However, what makes this instance so different is that the entire puzzle was centered around a book known as the Liber Primus, which translates to the first book in Latin. It appears that it was Cicada who was responsible for writing this book. Do you recall that image we discovered in the previous puzzle, the one that was a table completely filled with various numbers, letters, and cryptic symbols? Its purpose was now clear. It was the key to decoding the new book. The book was filled with runic symbols, and using this table, the participants began to gradually decipher it. The content of the Liber Primus was a diverse collection of philosophical ideas, acting like a constitution for Cicada, which confirmed that Cicada was a genuine secret organization. The book also featured a surprisingly large and varied collection of all sorts of complex, mind-bending puzzles and secret codes. Regrettably, despite the fact that the investigators were in possession of the key, they found themselves completely unable to decipher a significant portion of the mysterious book. The complex runic symbols found on many of the pages were actually encrypted using multiple intricate layers, rather than relying on a simple, straightforward symbol-to-letter substitution method. In the end, out of the 74 pages that contained these runic symbols, the team was only able to successfully decipher 19 of them. At the very beginning of 2015, everyone was waiting for the new puzzle, just like they had done every single year, but the year came and went without Cicada ever announcing any new puzzle. It was at that moment that some began to believe that the book's complex puzzle had to be solved in its entirety before Cicada would release a new one. In 2016, this belief was finally confirmed when Cicada posted a message encouraging people to go back and re-examine the book once more. The path that lies before you is now wide open. True revelation requires the truly devoted. The Liber Primus is the way. Its written words are the map. Its inner meaning is the path, and its numbers are the directions. Seek it out, and you will surely find it. I wish you the best of luck. The signature remains 3301. More than 4 long years have now drifted by without any kind of noticeable progress being made, and we have been met with nothing but complete and total silence from the Cicada group. However, as more time has slowly passed, some bits of news have finally started to leak out regarding what is currently happening within that final secret stage. It is impossible for anyone to truly know the hidden secrets and the intricate details of this stage unless they have personally reached that level. Various leaks suggest that at the conclusion of the first puzzle, those who qualified were sent a mysterious email directly from the organization known as Cicada. Unfortunately, the individual who leaked this failed to publish the specific verification code that Cicada has always included with its messages, so we simply cannot be 100% certain regarding the absolute authenticity of this information. Nevertheless, let us take a closer look at what that email was supposedly meant to contain. The message stated the following: "Do not share this information. Congratulations. Your comprehensive tests, which lasted a full month, have now concluded. Out of the thousands of applicants who attempted to gain access, you are among the very select few who have succeeded. only one final step remains for you. This time, there are no hidden codes, no cryptic messages, and no coordinates for you to go and search for. The final step, quite simply, is complete honesty and integrity. We have been honest with you from the very beginning, and we will remain so until the very end. We expect you to be just as honest with us. You have always wanted to know who we are, and now the time has come to answer that question. We are a global group with no name, no symbol, no membership. We don't have any official website, and we do not promote ourselves in any way. We are a group of individuals who have demonstrated our competence, exactly like yourselves, and we succeeded in the competition just as you have. What truly unites us all is a shared belief in only one cause: oppression and tyranny. They must come to an end in every possible way, for preventing people from expressing their opinions is simply unacceptable, and privacy is a fundamental right for every single individual. We are not a group of hackers, and we do not engage in any unlawful activities, nor does any single individual among us participate in such. If you are currently involved in any illegal activity, we kindly request that you cease this activity immediately, or you may simply decline the invitation to become one of us. Should you choose to decline, we won't inquire about your reasons, but if you were to lie, we would most certainly uncover it. You're likely asking yourselves right now, what exactly is it that we do? Our fundamental focus lies in the research and development of advanced technologies that actively support the core principles we champion, such as individual freedom, personal privacy, and overall security. And I'm sure you've heard about some of our previous projects. If you decide to accept membership, we would be absolutely delighted to have you join us and become an integral part of our team, helping us with all our upcoming projects. We await your reply to this email by answering the following questions. Firstly, do you believe that every human being has the right to privacy and that it is their right to use tools to help them maintain it? Secondly, do you believe that information should be free and accessible to everyone without any restrictions? Thirdly, do you believe that censorship harms humanity? We look forward to hearing your opinion. Signed, 3301. The problem with this message is that it contains contradictory parts. So, the question, do you believe that information should be free and accessible to everyone? Fundamentally contradicts what this group had been doing since the very beginning of the puzzle, as they were concealing all information from everyone. Furthermore, the very first sentence in the message clearly states, "Do not share this information." How then can we truly believe that all information ought to be accessible to everyone? The very notion of a secret organization or group recruiting individuals by deciphering codes and puzzles is fundamentally based on concealment and restriction. On the surface, it might seem like a ridiculous or unrealistic idea, as if these things only ever happen in movies and TV series. However, quite the opposite is true, as such incidents have indeed occurred within various institutions and organizations. In fact, even certain governments have employed this very approach in the past, for instance back in 2013, when the British intelligence agency GCHQ launched a unique recruitment program that they named Can You Find It?, which literally translates to Can You Find It?, where participants in the program were tasked with solving a series of hidden codes scattered across the internet. Those who successfully solved the puzzles and decrypted these codes were awarded monetary prizes and subsequently hired by the agency itself. But the powerful question that presents itself now, if this information is indeed accurate, then why haven't the individuals who successfully passed these tests spoken about their experience after they concluded? The problem, however, is that some people have actually come forward and spoken, but how are we to know for sure that they are not being untruthful? In 2015, Rolling Stone magazine conducted an interview with two individuals who claimed to be among the winners of the first puzzle. They stated that after completing the final stage, they received an email from Cicada containing a link that led them to a website on the dark web. And through this website, we were able to get in touch with about 20 more recruits, as well as some of the founding members of Cicada. In that secret meeting, they were informed that Cicada 3301 was not an intelligence agency. Instead, it was founded by a group of friends who shared the same ideas concerning security, privacy, and censorship. The true goal of this group is to develop applications that contribute to spreading these very ideas. Over time, their secret society began to expand and spread across multiple countries, and their operational system became based on recruits developing applications while the founding members supervised them. However, once the recruits understood that it was ultimately just a technical operation and that the era of riddles and ciphers had concluded, most of them grew bored and began to gradually disengage. Soon after, the dark web platform where they had been gathering vanished completely. Ultimately, the most plausible explanation for everything that has transpired is that Cicada could indeed be a collective of developers whose primary objective is to create applications that prioritize privacy and security. However, instead of relying on conventional recruitment strategies, they opted to devise this intricate game, ensuring that only individuals truly exceptional in programming and cryptography would come forward. Although this explanation may not seem as exciting or astonishing as the idea that Cicada is an organization seeking to control the world, it is the most realistic explanation for one of the greatest and most famous hunts in internet history worldwide.
And you, dear viewer, share your opinion with us in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel to receive all the latest updates.